All right, well, thanks for watching this presentation here about open and affordable dental. This presentation is based on a lunch and learn that we're going to be giving on September 8th, 2022. The reason I mention that is there's some time-specific information here, such as which offices have availability for associates and for owners, but all of this information should be good for the next couple of years. Obviously, the presentation will be updated on the website, so you can check out which offices have associateships and ownership availability. So I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Jason Stott, and I started Open and Affordable Dental about a year after dental school. I graduated from Buffalo, New York in 2013, and then came out to Colorado and started practicing in a different system, obviously. I then decided I wanted to create an office where I could create longer term relationships with patients, that I could have a system that was based on patient care instead of, money and things like that. So, obviously money is super important in private practice, but I want it to be mostly patient focused. So, started in 2014 and found out how much work a private practice is. I didn't have systems. I didn't even really have a staff. And so I just started putting together systems, manuals, and things that would make the next doctor who came in have a little bit less hard of a time in running and creating a successful office. So, over the first 3 years of Open and Affordable Dental, I was working 72 hours a week clinically. So all of this information around Open and Affordable didn't come from some manager who came in and said, hey, this is how I think we should run a dental office. This is really, down in the trenches, tried and true information that has helped me and several other dentists become financially successful, that have also, we've stayed true to our initial mission, which is, crazy amazing patient care, and to be able to treat patients, like we would our family. So super proud of what we've accomplished. At these lunch and learns, usually we have open and affordable doctors who are there recruiting additional associates or potential owners. We also have support staff that are there from, we call it the corporate team, who help us in accomplishing our goals in creating a successful office. So some of the corporate type of people here would be trainers for the fronts, trainers for the assistants, accounts receivable staff. We also have a 24/7 answering service. Some of those people might be at your lunch and learn. And then we also have people that schedule for the specialties, so for oral surgeons and for the orthodontists. So if you have a chance, try to talk with these people, the doctors that are there, and especially some of the corporate people, because they will kind of interact with you and they have a lot of information on what they do to help you as a new doctor become successful. So I wanted to just, direct you to this web page. So if you scan this QR code, it's going to take you to a web page that has basically all of the information that you will need. And I'm going to show you this web page here. So it's actually this careers information, and you will use password careers. Inside of here, you're going to see a couple of documents. You're going to see a document here that actually has way more information than what we're going to be able to cover here on the presentation, and it also has every single question that we've ever been asked by associates. It's really a very huge and important document when you go out there to interview, even at offices that are not open and affordable. It's great information so you can go to those interviews and know exactly what to ask. So please, please, please access this information, read through it before you start the interview process at wherever you decide to go. Okay. We also have our associate contract here, so you can see exactly all of the parameters around what you're going to be looking for. all of these contracts have gone through several versions of potential associates who have had their professors look at it. They've also had their lawyers look at it. We've had our lawyers look at it. So a lot of good information there. We also have recruiting videos, so this will be included in that recruiting video. And then we also have this presentation, so you can access the PDF of this presentation. So, I want you to really pay attention to this presentation, just for the fact that this presentation, yes, it's about open and affordable, but it really gives you a baseline of what to start looking for in your career. Unfortunately, I felt like every single opportunity out there when I was coming out of dental school, I felt like every single opportunity out there was going to be amazing, and it really didn't matter where you went. But I really believe that there are so many associates that get stuck in a bad situation that it really takes them 5 to 10 years to figure out how to play this game of dentistry. And unfortunately, if you get into a bad system, your confidence goes down. And I know of several associates who came into open and affordable and who had gone through other systems who were almost ready to get out of dentistry. That's how bad it is. So please pay attention so that you can set yourself up for success. Like I said, what you're going to learn today is going to help you with your future interviews inside or outside of open and affordable dental. Okay. The other thing too is take some information from some of the doctors that are here at your presentation, and if they're from the school that you graduated from, or if they're in a location that you're looking to work at, reach out to them. They would love to share anything that they know, and they would love for you to see their clinic in action. So really try to network and contact them. I'll give you their contact information here at the end of the presentation. Okay. We're also going to try to leave 20 minutes at the end of this presentation. Usually lunch and learns are scheduled for about an hour. We're going to try to get this done in about 40 minutes so that you can have about 20 minutes to interact with those doctors. So this is probably the most important slide that I know that you guys have seen a ton of slides in your dental school career, but this is probably the most important slide that you'll ever see, which basically says this. We have two lines here, okay? And this blue line is your monthly collections, okay? So, when you start out and you don't really even know what is good collections, but usually an average dental student graduates and starts collecting about $20,000 a month. A very, very skilled dentist can collect over $100,000 a month. A lot of them are between $55,000 and $85,000, okay? I used to believe that, hey, if I'm an average dentist, I'm going to be doing just fine. Well, if you take a look at this red line, this is actually your monthly expenses, okay? So you can see that your monthly expenses are usually roughly around $35,000 for your staff, for your rent, for your equipment, for all of the supplies that you use, okay? So unfortunately, and this is before you pay yourself, okay? You pay yourself as a doctor. So at $35,000, you are just starting to break even, meaning you're paying your staff, but you're not paying yourself. So I thought that the average dentist was going to make $250,000 by just producing, $40,000 to $45,000 per month. That is absolutely not true. If you think that you can be an average dentist and make the income that you need to make in order to survive, you're grossly and sorely mistaken, because you really need to be in the $65,000 and higher range in order to make the money that you need to be able to pay back your student loans. So the goal of Open and Affordable is to take your dental school skills and as quickly as possible move you up to being a skilled dentist so that you can make the money that you need to make. So you're probably considering a lot of different type of opportunities, And I've just highlighted some of the positives and some of the negatives of each type of opportunity that you might be looking at. So we have private practice. We're talking about a single office. We're talking about a corporate run organization where you have no ownership in the office. They simply just pay you to come and show up and work. We have a DSO type of an organization where there's a mixture of ownership. They might own the building, they might take a royalty, they might take a percentage of the revenue, but you're kind of a potential owner in some portion of the practice, okay? And then obviously we have public health. That could be at the VA, that could be at the prison systems. So those are kind of the opportunities that are out there. Something about private practice, I've been through private practice. When I bought Open and Affordable, it was essentially private practice. Super high stress. You're basically the lone wolf out there doing everything by yourself. High reward, yes. If you work like crazy like I did, 72 hours a week, you're going to make some good money. But it comes at a huge family cost and a huge amount of stress. Obviously, large time investment, you're alone. You can basically do any treatment that you want. No one's looking over your shoulder. Corporate, it can be emotionally taxing. Why? Because they're going to have quotas. You need to do 25 crowns a month. No matter who walks in your door, 25 crowns. So ethically, sometimes you don't sleep well at night because of those types of things. It can be a medium to a large time requirement depending on how much corporate sets up for you to work on doing staff. Some people don't have to do any staffing. Other people have to do a lot. Obviously, you're going to have, because you are working for them, they're going to tell you exactly how many fillings you need to do per month, how many crowns. So there's definitely quotas. The income, usually about medium. Why? Because the patients that walk in there usually figure out at some point that it's a big sales job when they walk in there. So it's very hard to keep recare. Okay. DSO, medium to high stress. Pseudo ownership. What do I mean by that? A lot of times they're going to set up the situation where you don't actually own the real estate. You're going to pay a high rent to them. They're going to have a large royalty so that they basically capture as much revenue as possible out of you. Prescribed treatment, there's potential for prescribed treatment. The DSOs usually have a little bit less because you're a pseudo owner. But a lot of times they're going to set it up so that it's a big, huge specialist network. So they keep the specialist type of production. So they're going to force you to never do a root canal, never do a surgical extraction. Okay. Public health, super low stress. You go in there, you're going to see your 6 to 8 patients a day. You're going to mostly refer as much out as possible. You're going to have a lower steady income and super predictable. Okay. So let me just tell you about Open and Affordable Dental. So, because we're created by a doctor, our focus has always been to be completely honest with patients. I think all of us, when we were in dental school, had this, pretty good moral compass that we wanted to go out, help people, and we hope that being super nice to people would translate into financial success, okay? We want to treat patients like family. And I'm saying it here in this recruiting presentation. And if you ever come and shadow me or if you ever have any questions, my response to you is, how would you treat that? How would you treat your mother? And then the answer to that patient's prescribed treatment is going to be exactly the way that you would treat your own mother. So every single ethical question that we ever have, we always answer it with, what is right? That's what we should do. So it's so nice to be able to be in an organization that really, really emphasizes being super ethical, doing really, really good dental work, because we want to treat those patients just like we would want to treat our family. And then because we do so much and we're encouraged to do as much as possible, surgical extractions, molar endo, implants, we gain the experience to solve complex problems. Some associates are kind of thinking, oh, okay, so I'm going to come in and I'm going to be working with the owner doctor, and the owner doctor is going to take all of the root canals and all of the hard surgical extractions, and I'm going to be doing the prophies. Absolutely not. When you see a patient at the very beginning, that's your patient. You're going to see that patient for every single thing. If they need a root canal, you're going to start that root canal. Yes, if you can't get through it or you're having problems, the owner doctor will step in and help you out, but you need to get good so that you can do every single one. Patients buy into your confidence, and if you are not good at those procedures or you're not efficient, they're going to pick up on that. So you're encouraged to do all of that, and you're going to get a ton of experience in doing complicated procedures. So our motto is super profound. It's a simple formula, but it's really profound. We are there to make friends and solve problems. If you're someone who doesn't have the greatest personality, unfortunately, people aren't going to come in the door. If you have an amazing personality, but you can't do very good dentistry, people are going to figure out that all their fillings are falling out and they won't come back to you. So you need to be someone who can make friends, bring people in, and then solve their problems, do amazing dentistry. That's the formula for success, okay? So the open and affordable difference. So really, we are trying to take our industry back. There are so many private equity type groups out there that are coming into the dental field. We are owned and run by doctors. Every decision that we make is basically for the good of patients and for doctors, okay? So there are no managers. There's no one that's coming in there and telling you that you have to do this amount of crowns. No, we're going to do as many crowns as need to happen on the patients that come into our office. So we have clinical autonomy. Obviously the big thing is with a lot of new graduating dentists, they're apprehensive about their clinical skills. So some organizations kind of pigeonhole you into learning all of the clinical. So you're going to hear this phrase a lot. We'll go ahead and run all of the administrative so that you can concentrate at what you're good at, which is the clinical, okay? The unfortunate thing about that is if you're ever planning on getting into an ownership type of a situation later on in your career, you will never have the confidence to be able to do that because they're only allowing you to see the clinical. So with open and affordable, you're going to get a ton of clinical experience and administrative experience. We call open and affordable, it's an entire practice residency. You're going to learn how to run 35 patients in a 12-hour shift. You're also going to learn how to run a financially successful office. You're going to be trained on every function of the front office, the accounts receivable, how to do the financial numbers at the end of the month. You're going to learn within 6 months how to run an entire practice, okay? You have a huge supportive community of other doctors. We have all of these doctor threads on our messaging app. So if you ever have any questions, you have direct access to the oral surgeon. You have direct access to orthodontist. You have direct access to your owner doctor. And you also have direct access to all of the other doctors within open and affordable. So you can ask any question, clinical, administrative, and you're going to have 10 answers within a few minutes, okay? Like I mentioned, you're going to be encouraged to perform all GP procedures, including implants, molar root canals, surgical extractions. I can't count how many times doctors are super excited about doing implants. So what do? They find their first implant case, and then we go in there, and I basically hold their hand as they push the implant drill into the bone for the first time. And now these doctors have placed 200-300 implants, okay? So same thing with root canal, surgical extractions. You have a hand to help you get through those first procedures until you become amazing at it. But obviously it takes a lot of repetition. I tell everyone until you get through your 100th procedure, you're still practicing. So we always try to get people through their 100th procedure. So 12-hour shifts, work-life balance, super important, okay? So what we've set up is a system of clinical schedules so that we can have a work-life balance. So we work 3 12-hour shifts per week, okay? So we have basically set up the office into a beginning of the week staff and an end of the week staff. So the doctor usually works with their staff, okay? There might be a little bit of changing, but usually it's the same doctor with the same staff. Just helps as far as personalities gelling and things like that. So the schedules are, if you're a beginning of the week staff, you're going to be working alternating Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, or Monday, Tuesday, Saturdays, okay? So you're working 2 Saturdays a month. If you're an end of the week staff, you're going to be working Thursday, Friday, Saturday, then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, alternating, okay? So the office is open 12 hours a day, and it's also open 6 days a week. Why is that super important? We want to capture economies of scale. If you're an owner doctor, you want that office open all the time. But another big, huge reason is you want to have continuity of care. You want to be available for those blue-collar workers that are coming out of their job and are only available after 5 p.m. You want to be available for them on the weekends. You also want to be able, when you're out of the office, to not have to worry about office-type things. So if you did a full mouth extraction at the end of your clinical week, guess what? You could actually be on your vacation on the beach and not have to worry about that patient bleeding. Why? Because if they do have an emergency, they're going to come into the office, and the next day the office is open and the other doctor will take your emergencies, okay? Work-life balance. You don't understand this as a dental student, but dentistry, real-life dentistry, is hugely emotionally taxing, hugely physically taxing. You need those days to get off, to recover from the emotional and physical stress of your clinical week. The other thing too is, because we start at 7:30, you're not going to run into traffic in the morning. Because we end at 7:30, you're not going to run into traffic at night. So you're saving yourself time. You only have to get ready for work 3 days a week. You don't have to fight traffic, and you have 4-day weekends every single week. Some people are stressed out about that 12-hour workday, but as doctors have started, they're like, oh my goodness, I would never be able to go to 5/8. Way too much, way too many days doing dentistry. Now, we do get questions occasionally, can I work more than 3 days? You absolutely can. We would love for people to work 72 hours a week, just like I did for 3 years. Good luck with that. You're going to find out that it's very hard on your body, but I don't want to discourage it, because there's always those gunners out there that want to work more, and we super encourage that. With Open and Affordable, we want to help you build a successful and profitable practice. How do you get there? You need to have lots of patients, okay? So we really concentrate on the full cycle of patient care, which is, we want to concentrate on the number of new patients. We want to concentrate on the patient experience so that those patients come back. And we're super big on recare, so that your office is always full with hygiene patients who don't have to have any outlays of money out of their pocket, because it's all covered at 100%, and you're always having someone come into your office, okay? So with Open and Affordable, we basically have designed it so that there is an opportunity for every type of position that you want. So if you're coming out of dental school and you're a little bit apprehensive about your clinical skills, mentorship might be for you, meaning you're going to be working with another owner doctor who has been through the trenches, has done every type of procedure, and you're going to be in the office with them. And if you get into any problems, they're basically 2 feet away. Okay. Associateship, meaning you're going to be going into potentially the same office as the owner doctor, but might be on the other side of the week. So you'll probably work with that doctor for a few weeks side by side, and then you'll go in and work all alone. Okay. Or with potentially another associate. Some doctors don't like to work with other doctors. This might be the way to go. Okay. 100% ownership. When you buy an Open and Affordable practice, you are 100% owner of that entity. You're the only one on the entity with the state, with the IRS. You own 100% of your practice, okay? Multi-practice. If you get to the point where you want to expand and you want to own multiple offices, and you'll see here at the end of our presentation, there are many doctors who have gone to this level, and it's super encouraged. Just back to this ownership. How long does it take you to become an owner? You need to go through at least a 6-month associateship, and then after we've kind of vetted you out, making sure that you know how to run all of the systems, you're actually profitable, then we'll let you buy, and there's plenty of ownership opportunities. Okay. Real estate. Again, Many of the DSO organizations do not let you buy real estate. Why? Because they're in the real estate game. Open and Affordable is the only one that I know where you are actually encouraged to own your own real estate, and we will help you find and locate and start practices inside of your own real estate. The big opportunity with Open and Affordable Dental is once you buy your real estate, Open and Affordable guarantees that there will be an open and affordable practice within your real estate for the rest of your life. Okay. And I also mentioned this beyond. There's going to be another more comprehensive presentation that talks about where we're going beyond all of these opportunities. Okay. So how does Open and Affordable help us become successful? I want to go over a really quick formula here on how to make money in dentistry. You have your number of patients. You multiply that times the number of procedures that you do on the patients. That is your revenue. Then you subtract your expenses, and that's your profit. Okay? So with patients, we are very keen towards making sure that our reputation is as good as possible. Go out there and check out our Google reviews. You're going to see that we're 4.8s up to 5.0 at our offices. Why? Because we have systems to make sure that patients are happy. We take very, very seriously any negative feedback that comes back, and we try to build systems around avoiding those negative patient experiences, okay? Availability. We're open those 72 hours. Why? Because we want to be able to attract as many patients as possible so that we can treat them just as best as possible. A typical private practice office is getting 20 to 30 new patients a month. A typical open and affordable office is getting between 150 and 300 new patients a month. It's just easier to make money when you have all of those new patients coming in. Patient experience. Everything that we do is systemized. We're trying to basically measure scientifically how the patients react to this particular situation versus this situation. And then if 6 out of 10 have a positive response here versus 4 out of 10 there, guess what? We're going to go with the 6 out of 10. And we're going to always dial in on the best patient experience given every little point of feedback that we can get. Answering service, it's amazing. We have 24/7 answering service. Patient is in pain or someone who's never been to our office is in pain, calls on a Sunday night. They're going to get a live person that answers them that is someone from Open and Affordable Dental and can get them scheduled on your schedule the next day that it's open. So it's super nice. Some of our offices, when they're just starting, they're closed. They're only open for 3 days, so they might be closed a couple of days. They come in on their Monday or their first day of the clinical week, and they have all of these emergencies scheduled on their schedule. How much easier is it for them to make money when their schedule is busy? Recall. We're super big on recall. The best dentistry that's ever performed is that dentistry that's done in the hygiene operatory. Preventative care is covered at 100%, so we're really big on that. We're in network with everyone under the sun, including Medicaid in Colorado. It just helps for our blue collar workers. If they ever go from one school district employee to another, they'll still be in network. It makes it super huge for us to attract the number of new patients that we need in order to grow. Marketing, check out, our SEO, Google us, see if you see us ranked highly. One of the important things is that we're all trying to figure out how to attract new patients, making our offices super presentable, making sure that our offices are super clean, making sure that we're found in good locations. All of this helps us gain those new patients. Okay, procedures, mentorship, we talked about that. How are you going to figure out how to do a second molar root canal? You're going to need some help. That's why you're there with someone holding your hand. GP focused. We want the GPs to be the quarterbacks. The specialists are essentially our hired guns. They do the stuff that we don't want to do. If you want to get into full bonies, go ahead and do full bonies. If you don't want to do full bonies, guess what? The specialists will come in there and do it. But you're encouraged to do as much dentistry as you possibly can. GP should usually be able to do 85 to 90% of all dentistry that walks into your office. Same-day dentistry. We super encourage same-day dentistry. No one goes into King Soopers and looks at grapes and decides they're going to come back later and buy those grapes. People want their problem fixed that day. So we're going to show you how to run multiple columns and how to do even 3 root canals at the same time. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Doctor autonomy, you get to choose what you're going to do. There's no one that is over your neck telling you, and you can ask any of the doctors that are present at this Lunch and Learn or at any of the Lunch and Learns if Dr. Stott or anyone has told them that they need to start doing more crowns or they need to start doing more fillings. Absolutely something that was created out of managers, not doctors. We know that there's a clinical need for something, we're going to do it. If there's no clinical need, we're not going to do it. Okay, specialists. We have, like I said, we have access to specialists so that all of those procedures that we don't want to do, they can do. Expenses. How do we help you reduce expenses? Best practices. We have relationships with a credit card processing company that charges you 1% less than what you would get if you were just a solo practice. Okay. We have a supply list. We vetted out every single thing down to the cotton rolls on what's the best value for your money. So you don't have to think and you don't have to go through the vetting process like I did over 3 years to find the best value for everything. And this supply list is always being updated as doctors find better and better deals. You are not required to go to a Henry Schein or to a Patterson to buy your supplies. If you can procure them at a place that's cheaper or a better value, we encourage that. Staff training. We have manuals. Our assistant manual is maybe 180 pages. It tells assistants every tiny little thing that they need to do in order to run it. We have corporate trainers that can help you train a brand new person off the street. So you don't have to go and hire someone at $30 an hour to be able to run your office. We can get someone off the street. You can have corporate help, and within a couple of months, you have a full functioning assistant at a lower cost than if you went and brought someone in who has 20, 30 years experience. In-house repairs. Again, we have our own repair company so that when you have a leak in your air water syringe tip, instead of going in and paying $200 for them to repair a $5 part, you can call our service and they'll come in and repair it at a lot more cost effective. Okay. And then profit. All of the offices run off the same financial tracking mechanism so that you can look at other doctors and be like, oh, look at that doctor. Look at how financially successful they are. I want to go and shadow them. So all of our offices are super transparent and we can compare and contrast and figure out better ways to become more profitable. Okay. We also have tax reduction strategies. All of us are trying things in order to reduce our tax burden so our take home is as high as possible. So I just wanted to go over some questions that you should be considering when you go out and interview with either Open and Affordable Dental or with other offices. Okay, how many patients are you going to see? At Open and Affordable Dental, at the beginning, the first day that you're in clinic, you're probably going to see 10 patients. Now that's super daunting to a dental student, but the assistants do a lot of that work and it's usually going to be recall prophies, okay? But very quickly, depending on how quickly you ramp up, you need to be seeing 35 patients a day. The fact of it is, unfortunately, with in-network dentistry, when you are seeing one column of patients, you're really losing money. You start breaking even when you get to seeing 2 columns of patients. And then you become profitable when you see 3 columns of patients. So you need to be looking at the schedule and making sure that practice has the ability to provide you up to 3 columns of patients. Some private practitioners are going to give you 1 operatory to work at. It's basically impossible for you to make money in that situation, okay? So be aware and take a look at their schedules, okay? What procedures are you going to do? Are you going to be in a situation where the doctor is going to do all of the bigger procedures, all the root canals, or are you going to have to refer those out to specialists? I'm just saying that at Open and Affordable, you're going to be encouraged to do all of the procedures. And it's just easier to make money when you can do it. It's also better for your patients if you're able to do every single procedure for them. How many days, hours will I work? Maybe you want to work 40 hours a week over 5 days. So just kind of consider that, and just consider, what the amount of time it's going to take for you to get ready for work, how much time it's going to take for you to get home, and then divide your total salary divided by the total hours so that you can get really an hourly salary so that you can compare apples to apples, okay? Talk to them about their opportunities for ownership. A lot of private practitioners say that they're going to be available for retirement within a couple of years, and then it extends out to 5 and 6 years, and it's really not what you were looking for. Like I said, at Open Affordable, 6 months, and then you can be an owner if you're amazing, okay? What's the opportunity for real estate? What's the opportunity to receive the royalty? If you become a multi-practice owner with Open and Affordable, you will start receiving royalty from the offices that you're opening. Are you able to hire specialists and keep some of their production? At Open and Affordable, you do. You keep a portion of the revenue from the specialists. You also, when you employ associates as an owner, you get to keep revenue from those associates and also from hygienists. What is the compensation? Is there a base? At Open and Affordable, if you go through the contracts, or the contract that I showed you at the very beginning, you're going to see the two types of compensation that you're going to get. So we have a mentorship contract, and we also have an associate contract. With the mentorship contract, there is a $55 an hour base that does not fall off, okay? So you'll always be making $55 an hour, but you'll always make the greater of 30% of your collections minus your lab fee times 30%. So the opportunity to make more than $55 an hour is absolute. In fact, very few people stay on their base for more than a couple of months at the very beginning of their career, okay? The associate contract is very similar, but if there's a $65 an hour base, it only lasts for 3 months. Then there's no base, but again, it's the greater of your collections minus your lab fee times 30%, or the $65 an hour. So when you come out of school, you're always guaranteed a base for 3 months, but you need to concentrate on becoming break even and making money as soon as possible, which is why it behooves you to shadow and to really concentrate on your career. If you think that you're just going to show up to work, go home, and still be way over your base, it's not going to happen. You got to really work hard. Okay, so what can you do now? Come out to our offices. Call the office. I'll give you the contact information for all of the doctors. Spend a few hours with those doctors and watch the offices in action. Are they busy? Do you agree clinically with the doctor? Do you agree ethically with the doctor? Do that with non-open and affordable offices. I think the big selling point for people coming into open and affordable is the people who shadow non-open and affordable offices and then come in and shadow open and affordable offices, because then they're like, oh my goodness, I just felt like it was an amazing flow in open and affordable. I felt like the doctors were really there about the patients. They were super having fun, and I could see that they were a lot busier. So please shadow, super important, okay? Meet the owners, the associates, talk with the staff. When you go into your office, make sure you talk with the staff. We're talking with the staff and saying, hey, what did you think about this person? Why? Because the way that you treat the staff is the way that you're gonna treat the patient. So be super kind to the staff. Find opportunities with tailwinds. What am I saying? If you're gonna find a place that has a million other competition, that's gonna be a harder place to make as much money. The further you get away from the urban areas and the more rural you get, the easier your life is going to be. I mean, people are like, oh, it's going to be a little bit easier. No, like twice as easy. So, try to be able to maybe live at the edge of the city if you have to live in the city, and travel an hour. If you have the city in your rearview mirror as you travel to work, you're going in the right direction. And then also sign early. The best opportunities with the best doctors usually happen in the fall. I find it interesting, people who graduate, or even like after the reb, they start looking for their job. It's like all of the good opportunities have been taken. So try to do all of this in the fall before you have to take all of your boards and sign with your office, and then you can just basically laugh at all of your other friends who are scrambling in the winter and the spring trying to find their office. Okay. Always check out the office and the company reputation. My first system that I was in, the company didn't have an amazing patient reputation, and I was like, whatever. But it was grinding trying to think about, oh my goodness, I need more new patients. I need more new patients. But there's a barrier to entry because there was a bad reputation. So be super on top of checking out the reputation. Check out our reputation. Check out the doctor's reputation. Check out the office, the company. Super important. But just, yeah, your success depends 100% on you. I used to say, it's 90% the doctor and 10% the organization, or 90% the doctor and 10% the location. Absolutely false. We have amazingly successful offices that are in terrible locations. Why? It's the doctor. The doctor is the only thing that matters. So you can be on the corner lot and be a terrible dentist, and you're going to be a complete failure. So it's up to you to make sure that you can be successful. And we have simply just given you the tools to get to that successful point as quickly as possible, and for you to live your dream just as successfully as possible. Okay. So just a few takeaways here. Open and affordable dental is made by dentists, run by dentists who really want to treat our patients as good as possible. I'm super thankful that we haven't ever strayed from our mission, and I'm also really thankful, especially seeing other systems, that we can treat patients honestly and we can be financially successful. I actually thought during the very beginning of my career that did not exist in the world of dentistry, that you had to sell treatment that wasn't necessary. And I really felt unethical about that. So I'm super thankful that we've been able to find this formula. And it hasn't been easy. We have honed and honed and honed our system to make this patient experience just as good as possible. Okay. We don't have any management private equity that comes in there and tells us as doctors what to do. The more private equity, the more managers, the more of these types of people that are surrounding your office, those people are taking money out of your pocket. So we can make as much money as possible by not having those people around. Okay. Open and affordable, it's the best of both the group and the private practice. We get to choose what to do. We get to treat our patients just as best as possible. But when we're out of the office, there's another crew that's taking care of those patients. Okay. Quality of life, 12-hour shifts, 4-day weekends, help, manuals, systems, processes, all of those things, a good income, all of those things add to a quality of life. And you're encouraged to do only what you would do on your own mother. So super, super ethical. Also, I think a big, huge thing is the unlimited potential. The reason I got out of my first system and started Open and Affordable was I didn't have access to owning real estate. I didn't have access to owning 100% of my practice. Those types of things are, glass ceilings can kill certain types of doctors. So there's really unlimited potential with Open and Affordable. There's roles for every type of person that you want to be. If you want to be an associate, hey, there's days where I only want to be an associate. I don't want to be an owner. So there's roles for associates. There's roles for people who need their hand held right out of dental school. Mentorship. So whatever role that you feel is best for you during your career, those are available. Okay. So what type of dentist are we looking for? Basically, we're looking for humble, hardworking dentists. Everything else, your clinical skills, we can teach that. We can teach you how to do a root canal. We can teach you how to do a filling. We can even teach you how to talk to patients. But if you're not humble and if you're not hardworking, it's just simply not going to work out. We've tried, just doesn't work, okay? You need to be committed to doing amazing dentistry. Like I said, make friends, solve problems. If you're not solving problems, you're not going to be able to have a big dental practice, okay? You also need to be able to do any dentistry very well today. All of our patients need to or are wanting same-day dentistry. I talked to you about the grape situation at King Soopers. You need to be able to, and King Soopers is the grocery store here in Colorado, but you need to be able to do dentistry same day. I know that it would stress you out if you're doing a root canal and someone came in and they said that they needed a surgical extraction. You need to be able to say yes at every single patient. We don't have treatment planners. A huge component of being able to do same-day dentistry is for the doctors to be able to discuss finances with patients. It's super awesome. You're going to find open and affordable doctors are like, oh my goodness, how could you ever work in a system where you're not talking about finances? It's really amazing for the patients to know that the doctor's like, yeah, your crown's going to be 800. Do you want to get it going? Yes. You're numbing the patient within 10 seconds. Okay. You need to be confident. Patients read your confidence. If you're not confident, they're not going to do any procedures. How do you gain confidence? By doing a lot of dentistry. You're going to do a lot of dentistry at Open and Affordable Dental. And you need to be someone who works well with staff. If you're going to come in and say that you're the doctor and they're the staff, guess what? You're going to be working alone. You're going to be working like you did in dentistry, doing your own suctioning. You need to be able to work well with staff who honestly does way more physical labor than we do, and are with the patients a lot more than we are. And so we need to be, we're looking for people that work well with staff. Okay. So who are we recruiting? When you look at your own dental class, you can say, let's just categorize them. There's a certain percent that are specializing. There are certain percent that are those GP overachievers that could specialize, but they really want to be general practitioners. Then there's just the average dentist. They come to school, they do their thing. Hey, maybe they're not burning the midnight oil on the weekends. And then there's the below average or the apathetic dentist, and we all know who those people are. You probably wouldn't want them in your mouth, okay? So who are we looking for? We're looking for those GP overachievers and average dentists who have the desire to be better. I'm going to be honest, we're also looking for those people who are considering specializing. A lot of those specialists are thinking, well, I want to make twice what the average GP makes. Well, guess what? At Open and Affordable, our owners make twice what the average GP makes. So why would you specialize and never be able to create a relationship with the patient? Why would you want to go in there and do full bony extractions every single day when you could just be doing fillings like us and have a better work-life balance? So we're looking for those people that are specializing, the GP overachievers. And if you're an average dentist, we can work with you if you want to get better. If you're an average dentist who wants to get better, we absolutely are looking for you. But if you're an average dentist who is thinking that your average amount of effort is going to work longer term, it's not Open and Affordable. It's private practice. It's just not going to work. We're never going to be able to make it financially work for us. And so really those average dentists or those below average or apathetic dentists, I really would encourage you to go into specialties where you're going to make a higher dollar per procedure and you don't have to talk with patients, you don't have to create relationships with patients, or go into public health because there you're guaranteed a salary and basically the people that show up in your dental office are forced to be there. So here are our offices as of 2022, and you can see here that we have mentorships available. We have ownerships available. And so you can take a look here, all of the mentorship offices here, and then the blue ones are the ownerships offices, okay? So every practice here that is listed ownership available also has mentorship and associateships available. So just consider all of those, and you can go back to our website and go to this presentation and check out the latest and greatest version of this presentation so that you can get the offices that interest you, okay? So again, scan in the QR code. You'll go to that webpage. The password is careers. And then if you would like to, you can email us at careers@openaffordable.com. Or if you want to talk to a specific doctor, especially these owner doctors, what you'll do is all of them have their last name at openandaffordable.com. So for example, me, Dr. Stott, you would simply email stott@openandaffordable.com, and it'll go to my personal Open and Affordable email. Okay, so you can reach out to any of the doctors on the following slide, ask questions, shadow, and like I said, read that Open and Affordable Dental Opportunity Packet, and you'll be amazed at all of the information that's in there. Okay, so here is all of our doctors and their locations. Okay, you can see their designation as far as the school that they graduated from. So Dr. Barkov, if you're a CU graduate, he went through the exact same education that you did. And you can see we have Dr. Piper, came through UMKC, I came through Buffalo, Dr. Zrick came from Virginia. So you can see all of those doctors, where they are located, and then reach out to them. Okay, so we'll usually open this up to questions, and this is really the most important portion of the presentation, is really getting a feedback from you as far as what you guys are looking for. Ask any experiences that we have coming out of our particular dental school, what we've learned from Open and Affordable, what we like about Open and Affordable, what we don't like about Open and Affordable, what we like about dentistry. Any single question that you have is fair game. So thank you so much for listening to this presentation. I just want to end with, my true belief that there isn't a better system out there than Open and Affordable Dental for doctors and patients. We've tried to take every single scenario and build something that is amazing for us. I can truly say that I have never had to do anything unethical inside of Open and Affordable Dental. I've only encouraged other doctors to be just as ethical as possible. And we've created a huge, reputation in Colorado around patient care. And we have these amazing support staff to help us along the way. And I'm really, really proud of what we've created, and I'd be super privileged to hire all of you who are hardworking and are humble. Thank you so much.